Xiaomi are investing big time in their future and are making huge moves in the smartphone industry right now. So here's the story of Xiaomi's plan to dominate the smartphone industry next year. It's true that Xiaomi has focused more on Asia over the last decade or so since they started. Initially tipped to be a rival to Apple, actually they focus more on emerging markets and mid to budget range devices. But ever since the US's decision to stop American companies doing business with Huawei, there would obviously be a huge gap in the market for a rival to take their place, and that's exactly what Xiaomi are planning to do. Just like Huawei created the Honor sub-brand, Xiaomi also created their sub-brand Redmi. This is for a younger, more up-and-coming market and also makes cheaper phones. Redmi's mission is very simple. Focus on India and Southeast Asia, getting as much market share as you can. Give more specs, more than the competition, for a cheaper price than the competition. They've even moved a lot of production directly to India so that they can reduce costs in that market and be even more competitive. Whereas Samsung does make mid and budget range devices, Galaxy A or M and then a number, it doesn't really inspire much passion in the product. Whereas Redmi seem to make products specifically for those market segments. Flagship killers, bringing more powerful processors at cheaper prices, a focus on power and battery life and gaming, and spending tons of money marketing these budget products that Samsung really just don't do that much. It's a strategy for Xiaomi and Redmi that simply has worked perfectly. Xiaomi has recently completed its gigantic Beijing campus. Brand new and state of the art, it's where they can go forward and launch all their new products. No more renting auditoriums when they have a new product to launch. They can use their own. Xiaomi have plans to start building out their own production facilities. This is another risk because using an ODM like Wintec has actually worked out to be cheaper overall for most smartphone companies. However, this production facility is going to be focused on Xiaomi's 5G high-end smartphones. Producing your own high-end smartphones and shipping out mid and budget range phones to a third-party ODM is a strategy that's worked for Huawei and other smartphone companies over the last few years. Xiaomi are working on producing their own chipsets. This is another huge risk for Xiaomi, but they saw the success that Huawei have had with the Kirin lineup of chipsets and they want to emulate that success. Kirin chipsets have become more reputable over the years, but more importantly, they give Huawei and Honor smartphones a USP. You cannot get a Kirin chipset anywhere else. Xiaomi want to do this too, but this is a long-term investment. Don't expect to see any Xiaomi branded chipsets in phones anytime soon. A focus on higher end devices. This is where a lot of profits will come from, and if they want to challenge Huawei and Samsung, they need to start making higher end products. Leidren has said that their entire focus is on 5G phones right now, and they're going to be coming out with at least 10 5G phones in 2020. This is important because Xiaomi's bigger, grander vision is to be at the center of a connected world. A horrible buzzword, yes, but importantly, there's a reason why Xiaomi only make a very small percentage profit on their hardware. They want to get the smartphone in your hand first so that you can be a part of a bigger Xiaomi world in the future, buying things like toothbrushes, air conditioners, washing machines, fans, watches, TVs, security cameras, smart speakers, which of course are all linked to your 5G enabled Xiaomi smartphone. Europe is a potentially lucrative market for Xiaomi, and they are laser focused on taking market share away from Huawei. More Redmi phones are being released there and more Xiaomi phones too. Looking at recent sales data, if it keeps going like this, Xiaomi will indeed overtake both Apple and Huawei in Europe. Of course, this is where things get hard because it's easy to grow from a small base with cheap phones, but the more expensive your phones are, at least in the Android world, the less you sell. But Xiaomi has a huge chance outside of China with the absence of Huawei, and they are going full throttle to take advantage of that. Subscribe for all the latest tech news and everything to do with Xiaomi. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.